What is going on? I'm your host for today, Nightcrawler724. Crawler coming at you. Josh is on vacation. He left us the keys of the castle, so we're off the rails. You never know what's going to happen. But
yeah,
Johnny,
that last 15 seconds didn't happen.
go watch the YouTube. We'll have to make him splice it together for good content. But Johnny,
we got it working. What's up? I'm excited. No Josh. We can do whatever we want. We can do whatever we want.
we got the keys to his YouTube and his Twitter or his Twitch right now. So, Cheesy, what's going on?
What's going on, Cheese Curds? What's the name of this podcast again?
Oh yeah, I should probably say that. Nintendo Powercast, episode, what did we say? 388?
388.
You got it.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Today we're talking about how the Denver Broncos suck.
No, we're not.
All right,
I'm
man.
gonna
Come
turn you
on
off.
now.
Nate,
Although,
I mean, you were here for the first like minute 15 or whatever when we were just before we turned it off and then came back.
I'm excited to see how this Sunday goes because it's the Broncos versus the Jets. So, like, which team is going to do worse?
Well, that was kind of like
the Jets are good. What are you talking about?
2 weeks ago when it was like
4-2.
The Colts, it was horrible and they couldn't even win that. But we digress.
Nintendo.
Right.
I have probably crazy reverb because I had my speakers on. That was probably why you were hearing stuff, Johnny. But because I was watching a movie last night while I was building Legos, so that's I didn't want headphones on.
Let's make this whole episode not Nintendo.
Yeah,
just really mess with people.
Well, first, I mean, we can be a little more lighthearted here at the beginning with Sparks of Hope came out today. I know you guys have gotten a chance to play. I've played just like maybe 5-10 minutes because I just got home a little while ago, so I haven't had a chance today. But I think you guys have spent a little bit more time. So what do you guys think so far?
I'm in the first world. I know that Johnny is also in the first world. And so far, like, I don't know. I love this series, even though like there's only been one game before it. It was just a huge surprise. I don't think anybody expected it to be as good as it was going to be. And like when it got leaked about, Rabbids and Mario, like it just didn't make sense. It sounded really bad. And I'm sure most people haven't played the first game because of the Rabbids, but they're kind of charming. And like the whole game itself is very cheeky. It's very rare. If we got like Rare back on Nintendo, this would be it.
Well, it's composed by Grant Kirkhope, right?
Yeah.
He did the
like Banjo-Kazooie. And
he did Banjo.
And,
I mean, I doubt
Conker.
he wrote this game, right? Like he didn't write it. I doubt he had.
No, but I'm sure
I don't know how game development works.
We'll get to that one later.
Oh God. All right, yeah, positive. So I played I think I'm like 2.5 hours, 3 hours in, and the game's good. Like I played the first game. I never beat the first game, but I enjoyed what I played of the first game a lot. I think it was a little too difficult. Like
the first game hard. It was really good, but it was less approachable than I think this one seems to be.
Yeah, this one seems to be. I don't know. I don't really want to say. I mean, I'm only in the first world, so it's. I think I got to the third or fourth world on the first one, and that's when it really ramped up. But I mean, I did the first boss battle and I lost once, so it's not a cakewalk. There are difficulty settings. You can do
no baby games here.
And no baby games. But the new movement system, I think they really improved upon what they had because I think it was more of a grid based.
Yeah, it was XCOM chess, thinking out your moves a little bit. This gives you a chance even after you can move a character and switch to another character, and then you can go as long as you don't fire your weapon. I think that's what locks you in place.
So you have a certain amount of like points.
You have action points, but then for movement wise, you have a highlighted space that you can move around in.
Yeah, and then you could. So the way I've been doing it, I've been trying to set up like my healing character kind of in the back, and then I have my attackers in the front, and I use the healing character because now there's a new mechanic where you could do a team jump, where you could jump off of your teammate and you go further into the map. You could get some different vantage points. I mean, you do have to be careful because you could land like it's timed, and you could just land like in the middle of nothing. I actually landed off.
What's your movement look like? You have movement after you land, though, right? I mean, at least the little bit I've done in the very first little tutorial-esque spot.
Yeah, it's a little circle. It's not much. There is a little bit of circle movement after the team jump, but I think it adds a different aspect of the game, and I think it's good. I think they improved upon the gameplay and they changed it enough to make it interesting enough. I'm excited. The sparks are great. They add another layer to the gameplay. The characters
I was just going to say for the listeners, we're not that far into the game, so there's still a lot that we have to experience, and I'm sure there's going to be some really great surprises around the corner. Digital commented and said you could team jump in the first one as well. This is just smoother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were ledges and different verticality in the first game that that you could like do they would just throw you up. I don't think you use Bebop or what's the name of the AI thing?
Beepo or
Beepo. Yeah.
Beepo or Beepo.
I don't think you grabbed onto Beepo like you do in this one, which is kind of gives you that more freedom that it's just more open. Everything about movement in this game, from what I've seen in the first 10 minutes in trailers, is it's just more free and open than it was in the first game.
Yeah, I would say that.
Even when you're not in battle, you can explore like houses and maybe find some like items there or some coins. And so it seems like they just have opened up the world a lot more than what the first game was.
Yeah, like I said, I was playing for about 3 hours, and I probably did maybe one main mission. I don't know, you get dropped off. I don't know if this is spoilers, but you get dropped off on a planet, and then it's kind of open. There's little puzzles that you could solve around the world. You could take on some enemies. There's a lot more to do in the overworld than there was in the first game, and you don't have to follow around the Roomba, so that's nice.
Yeah, and Beepo has a voice this time around.
Yeah, and so
because it was just text last time, right?
Yeah.
So Beepo has a voice. The Rabbids have a voice, which is a little weird. We were talking about this before we started recording. I think the jarring one for me was Rabbid Mario, because he sounds like this gruff Italian guy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things that it's like, well, this is weird, but then you get used to it as the game goes on. Or maybe they're going to repeat the same dialogue and it's going to get annoying. But right now it's funny. The Rabbids are funny.
Yeah. So I'm not that far in, but there's like already stuff that I don't want to spoil, because it's just a charming game, and I want people to experience it for themselves. But there's some good stuff already.
I don't know who it was in Discord, but somebody posted in there. They were like, 4 hours in, there's 2 dungeons. That's 2 dungeons more than Breath of the
Wild. Better game.
But I think I'm excited to explore this game and just spend time with it. So
the first game sold like 8 or 9 million copies. I know it was on sale
It was on sale a lot, but it was a game that was championed by a lot of people early on. Because when was the release date for this one? It was holiday. It was first year, right?
Yeah, it was 2017, I think, August.
It was in August.
Yeah, it was a year one. Okay, so it wasn't even holiday. It was in the first 5 months then. So, I mean, it was one of those games that gave people a lot of hope for third-party support. I think Ubisoft has been an early adopter and an early champion of this of the system, and they showed that off. And I think the biggest surprise that made it be so successful was the art style and how they nailed it without having Nintendo assets. Like their Ubisoft artists, the team that created the first game had. I think when they took it, I remember reading some news articles or just recaps of the creation of the game. Like they took it to Nintendo to present it, and they asked them where they got the models from. Like they were so surprised, they thought they had hacked in and gotten their models or something, and they told them that they had built it from the ground up, and they were so impressed by it. So they kind of, that's how you get a Nintendo stamp of approval, I guess, if you can replicate their game well enough that they can't differentiate if it's their assets or not.
And I think this game is gonna this game looks great already. Like, I think it's a well done third party. I don't, is this third party game? I don't know.
I mean, it's third party because it's made and published by Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that should tell you everything about how this game is going to turn out and how much they care about the Mario property. Not only that, but like the DLC for the first game was the Donkey Kong expansion, and that was so good. I remember I've done the
fight.
One of the better DLC.
The Donkey Kong fight is crazy difficult. I remember. I mean that was one of the things that stood out about the first game is. I don't remember if there's difficulty adjusters or whatever in the first game. It's been a while since I played it, but I do know that it definitely got to be a challenge. And so I mean, it's hopefully this game with accessibility options, the way people want to be able to play the game how they want to. I hope it's people are able to experience, because it seems like they've done a really good job presenting a nice cohesive package that they utilize a lot of the characters that you know and love. And Johnny was saying, I think even before we went live, like he wants a Galaxy 3 now, just playing this.
It's a very I think when the game loaded up, there was some music from Galaxy 3. Like something from Galaxy 3, or not Galaxy 3, from Galaxy.
I was going to say, whoa, you played
from Galaxy that just like triggered in the back of my head.
Well, just walking around the very first landing point, which I think is probably a hub, but it definitely put off Mario 64 vibes with the castle and the courtyard and the music that was playing. It sounded like Mario 64, just courtyard music from walking around the castle.
Well, you have the sparks, which are essentially Lumas, and then you have
the Rabbid Lumas,
the Rabbid Lumas, and then you have the Star Bits, which I don't know if they're called Star Bits in this game, but yeah, this one is definitely.
I think I clicked through the menu too quickly on that to read what they were.
So they're definitely taking inspiration from Galaxy.
Have you guys gotten Bowser yet? That's not a spoiler, I don't think, because it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
But have you guys gotten Bowser in your party yet?
No, I want to. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's like. Right now I'm just using Mario and Rabbid Peach because it's like the starter characters, and I'm too afraid to change out.
So it's only two characters right now, right? Do we think parties are going to get larger?
It's not.
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler. Johnny's already
okay. Yeah, no, there's more. I mean, there's at least, I think there's. Well, I mean, I have 3 right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so potentially, probably maybe 4. I would think would be a good round number to have in your party. I don't know.
Yeah, Nate.
It's also
Nate
good.
Says,
it has Pokemon XP share, so you don't have to have.
Do you get to turn that off if you don't want it? Because the pure.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Pokemon purists don't like that, right?
But I do like. I like that in Pokemon because I don't like Switch training.
Yeah, just to throw out a Magikarp just to get it to a Gyarados, right?
Yeah, but yeah, they don't have that. It has XP share, so that's good. So if you want to try out characters, 10, 15 hours down the line, you'll be at the same level as your current party. So and you could level up. You get the same, like each character gets a skill point every time you level up, and it's not like it's a shared bucket or shared pool. It's each member gets a point every time you level up
to fill out the skill tree, right?
Yeah, fill out the skill tree.
Yeah.
So turn-based, cover-based action RPG with RPG elements.
It's good, guys. All right, so here's the thing. The first one's good. I never beat it, but from what I know and what I've played, it's a good game.
Do you know anything about the boss fight in that first game?
About the last one? No.
I don't remember who the enemy is that you're facing in the first one.
You should watch a video of it. It's really cool.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go back and actually beat it.
From what you've seen so far, is it important for the?
They mention it. So
like you could also watch a story so far.
Is there a story in the menu?
In the game, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll probably do that.
But yeah, no. So I put a poll on my channel asking like if people are getting it. You got like 500 votes. 75% of people are saying no.
Really? I thought it would be the other way.
No, it's the majority. No.
When it comes to Nintendo games, and I know this isn't a Nintendo game, it's Ubisoft, but this and Captain Toad, I think, are the most underrated, like, kind of first-party Switch games. And they just need to give them a chance because both are just wonderful.
I just don't want them to be niche anymore. You know, I don't want them. They need to be mainstream. But yeah, I would say pick this up. I know it's 60. I mean, there's a bunch of games that just came out, like Persona 5 is coming out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's on if you have Game Pass, it's not coming to Game Pass too, so you can just play it there. Or if you own a PlayStation and you owned it more than 2 months ago. When did they take away Persona? They took away Persona out of the PlayStation.
Did they? Yeah. I didn't know they did that.
But that's not Royal. So I mean,
you could also get it cheaper on other platforms. So like pay, the $10 on PlayStation and then spend the rest of the money on Sparks of Hope.
Yeah. You can also get what else came? Something else came out today. Alan Wake, right?
Oh yeah,
Alan Wake. Like
is that cloud?
It's terrible. No,
is that cloud or is it native?
It's native, but apparently it's terrible. Like the port itself is actually terrible.
Well, because it's Alan Wake remastered for the Switch, like the remastered Alan Wake for the Switch.
Yeah. The one that came to
that might be a little rough. I could see how that would be rough. If they wanted to take the original Alan Wake from Xbox 360 and put it on Switch, maybe that would be okay.
I saw somebody say that it's worse than the 360 version. That's so disappointing because apparently, like, I never played Alan Wake, but people love that game.
I've started to play it, but yeah, it's you just running around with a flashlight a lot, so it's a thriller puzzle game, I think, for the most part. I mean, you have to be.
I'm gonna look up how much that is because, all right, I'm telling you, don't buy Alan Wake on the Switch. Buy Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah. Well,
this is not an ad, okay? This is not an ad. I know I've been doing a lot of ads recently.
Oh yeah, all Johnny's content's getting flagged for being.
Yeah, I got flagged for branded content.
Only two of them.
Nintendo shill anymore.
Well, real quick, going back to Sparks of Hope, Nate says that this game looks gorgeous, and it does. I don't know if that's something that we have really touched, like how good the game looks. But going back to what you said, Crawler, that Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids was like Nintendo giving third parties an opportunity to use their IPs. I think after that we saw
Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence of Hyrule. And I think we were wanting to see more. Like we did get a little bit with Starlink, I guess, and Star Fox. But is there
again Ubisoft and Nintendo trusting them to but I feel like that was almost shoehorned in.
Yeah.
I mean it was like special missions.
Yeah, I mean it definitely sold
Nintendo Switch.
It definitely sold the best. Starlink sold the best on Switch for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it twice, physical and digital, just because I got tired of loading up my ship to get the upgrades. So when Starlink I think went on sale, I bought it digitally, just because that was a whole lot easier and more convenient. Like they had that whole get the thing once physical, and then they didn't want people just to trade the ship or whatever to their friends. So every time you wanted to use a different upgrade on your ship if you had the physical stuff, which I have the physical stuff. It's laying around here something. Here's one of them. This little blaster or something that you plug into the R-wing, and yeah,
you could have bought them digitally, right? Like they were.
So I did. That's the problem. I bought it physical first, and I got sick of having to have the. I don't even know where the Joy-Con thing is. It's a Joy-Con holder that had a slot for the.
It's hideous. It's hideous. I don't know why. Who
the
made
character
that
to sit inside, and the R-wing went on top of it. And
the little Fox figurine is really cool though.
Yeah, and that's somewhere I don't know.
And the R-wing, like that was
the R-wing is cool,
whatever,
and
$50.
That's something I probably should get up on my shelf. But
yeah, I guess you're thinking like what other games? The only other thing I can think of, it's not the Switch. It was the Zelda games on Game Boy, and like Minish Cap was made by Capcom.
Story of Seasons, Story of Ages was Capcom. Capcom made those.
Is there an IP you would love to see made by a third-party developer?
Yeah, Metroid.
Well,
hasn't Metroid been made by? I don't know.
Well, I mean, like,
does that count as Mercury Stream? Is that Mercury Stream?
Mercury Stream, but also Retro.
Yeah, but they're not. That's second party.
That's second party at that point. I don't know.
They don't even own Retro, do they? I feel like they own Retro.
No.
Man, I'm like getting it all wrong today. People are gonna be very mad at me.
We'll just blame it on Josh. He's not here.
Cryptic saying Team Ninja made Other M.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. See how that went.
Did Nintendo make Federation Force? I don't even know.
Team Ninja is really good though. Like, I would love to see them do a new iteration, maybe not of Other M, but Team Ninja, they've made some really good games recently. Like they did the Neo games, and I think they're doing another Souls-like game. But I would love to see FromSoft do a Metroid game.
Or even a Zelda. They could do a Zelda game too.
Or a Zelda game,
yeah. Federation Force, I think, was in Next Level Games.
I think you're right. Man, Next Level Games putting out stinkers. Luigi's Mansion can only take you so far.
Luigi's Mansion 3, good game to play right now. It's
spooky season. Yep.
Yeah, it is. I still need to beat that game. I think
have you not beaten it?
I'm really close.
It's good.
I did the water floor, which I hated. That was the worst.
Yeah.
I think there's a Egyptian floor, I think, close to the end. So if you haven't gotten a lot of sand, right?
So
it's been a while since I played.
In that section, Hannah and I, we would play that game together, doing 2-player, and there's something that you have to find in that area. Well, that area
the pyramid one, I vacuumed all the sand. All of the sand.
That's exactly what we did too. And then that wasn't.
It took a while.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you have to do? So I
don't remember.
The answer is so obvious and like right in front of your face. So you should get it. It's
I
not.
I don't know.
It's Johnny. It's Johnny though.
That's true. That's true. I forgot who I was talking to.
Oh, this is a good topic though. Before we get into the not so great news, it's spooky season. What, like, do you play horror games around this time of year, or do you play like some type of Halloween themed games?
I'll pick it up for maybe a hot minute, but like with Resident Evil just had their direct, what was it called?
It was a
RE Presents or something like that. I don't know what it was. I have Village that I have on my PlayStation that I haven't really dived into too much. Honestly, sitting down in my basement playing Resident Evil games, I would probably turn on all my lights just so I had them on. But just the sounds and the atmosphere, like, it gives me the creep. Like, I want to sit down. I have RE4 that I've never actually played all the way. Like, I haven't played it all the way through.
That's not even that scary of a game.
It's not that scary. Like, and that's it's just getting over the controls, I think, is the biggest thing for me.
Just wait until next year, you'll get the remake.
But I want to have that reference point, I guess. I don't know. So that is something I want to sit down and do. I mean, lately I've just been playing lots of Fortnite with my son because that's what he wants to do. And there's Halloween type stuff in there. Events. Yeah.
I love the Halloween events. Like whenever games have Halloween events, I love them. Like I think
has
Fortnite
Overwatch
has it
started there?
now.
They
I think they're starting
this.
this week. I think maybe
But there
it
aren't like
started
loot
today.
boxes anymore in that game, so I don't know what.
Now you just buy it.
Yeah.
Well, there's like I think there's how Halo does like the 30 free tier battle
Yeah, there's
pass
something
thing.
coming out this week. I think came out on Tuesday or something like that. Yeah,
but yeah, I love Halloween themed events. I wish I'm gonna give a cheesy one right to the heart.
Okay,
no Splatoween this year.
Oh, damn it! Yeah, especially because I'm not a big spooky guy. Like I get too spooked. That's why my Twitter handle is cheesy screams right now. I like the whole dressing up, and obviously there's candy that's on sale, so that's a W.
I bought my candy at Costco.
You gotta be careful
yesterday.
though. They put like
they're putting like
razor blades all in there.
For like Roblox in there.
That has been one of the funniest memes that's come out of Twitter this year. Is like, be careful! I found this in my kid's Snickers bar.
Yeah.
Or something like it's the Photoshop whatever they want to put inside a Snickers bar.
I think my favorite has been the Cusco's poison. Somebody found Cusco's poison in their Snicker bar. I don't know. I am not a big spooky guy. So like even I was thinking about it. Like I've played Bendy. It's not that scary. Bendy and the Ink Machine. I've played Doki Doki, and that like I got kind of scared with.
I say I have Doki Doki Literature Club that I need to.
Do you not know Doki Doki?
There's
Doki
like
Panic?
There's a
Literature Club.
There's like a disclaimer at the front that's like, don't play this around kids. So I don't actually know.
I thought that was for other reasons.
For sexual content.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it. Josh isn't here. He said blame Crawler. But I thought it was because of that, not because of horror.
No, it's got some dark themes in that game. The later you go, it just takes a turn, and you're like, "What is this game?" It's not something that you would expect, and then it gets very meta. Like I'm not going to spoil things you have to do, but it's creative in that way.
Oh,
yeah. There's no Splatoween. I'm hoping that we get like Big Run or maybe a surprise Splatoween announcement, but there's like 10 days left in October, and it's really weird to not see a Splatoon event for this month. Every Splatoon game has been
but in previous years they've just given you those for free. I'm waiting for that to pop up in the shop or whatever.
Yeah, but it was in like relation to a Splatfest.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
I think so.
I mean, but it was still just the masks thing that you went into the news channel, you clicked through a link in the news channel, and then you booted up the game, and the next time you booted up the game, there was a package sitting at your feet that you opened and you got the masks. So, I mean, I think they still have a chance to at least do that.
True.
I mean, I can see it happening. We we still have a week and a half.
The fact that we have a November Splatfest announced, and I mean, that makes me feel like we're not going to get a Halloween Splatfest,
or even just an October one. So I mean, like if we don't get an event for October, I think it really is telling the future of Splatoon 3 and like how their events are going to go. Like, is it going to be every other month? Are we going to get like, is Big Run and Splatfest going to happen at the same time, or are those different times?
When in September did the game come out? I forget.
September 9th.
Yeah.
And we had a Splatfest 2 weeks after that, like on the 23rd and 24th or something like that, right?
Yeah.
This is maybe them course correcting back to be in the front of the month, because November's is around Pokemon weekend, right?
Yeah.
Is it the 11th?
Pokemon comes out.
Is it the
18th? Pokemon comes out the 18th.
And Splatfest is the 11th and 12th, right?
Yeah, same day as the Amiibos.
So that's probably them just course correcting to not interfere with holidays in December and be on the front side of the month, whereas they didn't gear up and go right away when they launched the game. So I mean, it's unfortunate. I think Halloween Splatfest is the casualty of it, but I mean, this might be them just trying to get back to a early month cadence.
Or if they don't want people playing Bayonetta, which I'm not saying like they are course correcting that. It's just if like that's a completely different audience, right? So you're going to have people that are going to buy Bayonetta, and then there's people that are just going to play Splatoon, and maybe that's a good time to release that Splatfest.
Segue.
Yeah. Well, first I'm gonna let Josh put in a sponsor ad post here. So we'll be right back for the audio listeners. And but as Cheesy was saying, yeah, Bayonetta is coming out next week, right? Or a week from tomorrow. Or a week from today, if you're listening. Well, who knows when Josh is going to get this up? It'll probably be on the weekend. Well, Josh is out of town.
Bayonetta's already out. It's been out for 3 weeks.
Bayonetta comes out this week. That's what I'll say for you if you're listening, for our audio listeners. But yeah, so there's been some stuff that's happened with Bayo this week, and I think it's gotten the internet pretty divided. I think it's opened up a conversation, which is important, which I hope will continue outside of the whole Bayonetta controversy. There is more, I think, to come. To Jason Schreier and some other industry reporters have found out some information. I'm Googling because I don't remember what is it Helena
Taylor.
Helena
Taylor.
So Helena Taylor is the original voice actor for Bayonetta. She voiced Bayo in Bayo 1 and Bayo 2. It was, I don't know what the timetable necessarily is, but I believe it was, I don't think it was her. I think it was Platinum that originally announced that she would not be coming back as Bayonetta for the
scheduling conflict.
Yeah, there was different stuff going around, reasons why. And I forget her name, but she's a voice actor from been in many things. Jennifer Hale.
Oh, Jennifer Hale.
She has done
she's female Shepard.
FemShep from Mass Effect. She's done Overwatch. She's done I think she's Ash in Overwatch. She's done other things. She's a well-established video game voice actor, and other, I think she's done different other voice acting credits as well for animated stuff. And she was recast as Bayonetta for this game coming up. And this last weekend on Saturday, so that was October 15th, Helena Taylor put out I think a series of like 3 or 4 videos, right?
4, yeah.
And it pretty much outlined the fact that she was lowballed on her offer, and said that she was offered $4,000 for
just a flat rate.
Yep, for the whole game.
Yeah.
And she pretty much called for a boycott of the game. Fans of the game that wanted to support her as the original voice actor, she urged them to cancel their pre-order if they had it pre-ordered and donate the money to a charity of their choice. I don't know if she suggested. Did she suggest any charities?
Nah, she just said
donate. But pick a charity and donate. So that was on the weekend, and so Saturday and Sunday go by. The internet kind of takes that and runs with it, and the president, is he the president?
Yeah, he's the president.
Platinum?
Kamiya. Yeah.
I'm not going to attempt a Japanese name, but
Hideki Kamiya.
Okay. He pretty much took it upon himself to. He has rules in his Twitter that he wants questions in Japanese only, and it's not his account is not there to be harassed by people. He got on the ban hammer so quickly for people violating quote unquote his rules that Twitter disabled his account due to thinking it was bot activity, like banning all these or like disabling all these people from leaving comments. And he pretty much, did he have any kind of official comment? It was just,
he said like, you have to abide by my rules, and that was it.
Yeah, it was very, but the whole abide by my rules thing was in regards to his Twitter. I'm pretty sure.
Was it? I don't know. I think he was making a statement. Or you should now. I forget what he said. It was something like you have to abide by my rules, or like don't betray, or like don't do something to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a character.
So Monday comes around. I remember. I think I was sitting at lunch, on my lunch break from on Monday, and there was a statement by Jennifer Hale, pretty much saying she supports other actors in their line of work, and can't really comment much due to having signed an NDA. But she stepped into the role after there was, after it was offered up. I think there was a audition process that Platinum opened it up for people to try out to be the replacement voice for Bayonetta, and she ended up accepting the contract, and that's what that is. So she pretty much, that's a no comment there. Kind of, she's under NDA. I think Helena Taylor has broken whatever NDA she maybe had,
She said something like, "I don't care about NDAs," or like, "I don't care about NDA at this point. I have to get this out," or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
then yesterday,
I think, was it Monday or end of day, or was it it was Tuesday? Was it Tuesday or?
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
When
Jason
article came
Schreier.
out.
Yeah. So the video game news journalists kind of go to work, and they end up getting multiple sources that say that Helena Taylor was offered well above the standard union contracted rate for 4 to 5 4-hour voiceover sessions at $3,000 to $4,000 a session. So anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 for 16 to 20 hours of work. Helena Taylor disputes that, says it's a he said she said kind of deal there when it comes to that. There's, respected journalists within the video game industry that don't necessarily put things to print without having multiple sources. There still, I think, has yet to be an official statement from Platinum in regards to this, and or Nintendo.
I don't think there ever will be. They can't. Those are confidential agreements.
Yeah, and I spent too much time probably at work on Tuesday trying to find out how much like William Dafoe or James McAvoy or Daisy Ridley got paid for 12 minutes. I was like really trying to dig and find different, because those are A-list type celebrity voices that were used.
How much is Chris Pratt getting paid to be
that? So you can't, that's apples and oranges. When you want to compare voice acting for a video game versus voice acting for a movie, there's different royalties that are built in, and movies can be sold and streaming revenue and all sorts of, there's different revenue sources for movies. Because I forget, in our big Nintendo podcast Twitter conversation, somebody posted a YouTube clip from I don't know whose
Troy
podcast
Baker.
it was,
Troy
but
Baker. It was Alana Pierce.
Yeah, Troy. Yeah, I knew Alana Pierce was on it. I didn't know if it was hers specifically. But Alana Pierce is there with a few different voice actors, Troy Baker being the prominent one that was there.
I think the marketing director from 12 Minutes was on that episode.
Okay, I know they were talking about 12 Minutes. Yeah, but so the biggest thing that kind of came out of that is movie actors that do, like, you can't compare a voice actor to a face actor for movies, because your movie studios are pretty much paying a person to give up. Like Troy Baker, I think, broke it down. That was like, they're paying this person to be this person in their movie, physically, emotionally, mentally, for an extended period of time. They're also obligated to do press tours around the world and other, depending on the size of the movie that you're doing. There's a lot of sacrifice that you're pretty much paying to have the rights to that person for a set amount of time. The way they look, the way they what other work that they're pretty much preventing them sometimes from doing other work. And the voice actors have a union. It's the Voice Actors Guild of Screens. It's got an acronym. I'm not sure what it was, but it was going around on the internet this past week with union minimums, which a union is there to help you to guarantee that the I don't want to essentially the bottom tier. Like there's minimums that the NFL sets minimums. There's a minimum pay that the quote unquote worst guy on your team has to get paid. And the union is there to guarantee that that person gets at least that. Does it guarantee in some instances if it's a livable wage? Not necessarily. I think if you, for time versus pay, I think it's a lot better than a lot of people in America or around the world even, but it's a conversation to be had. And I think with that being the story, I mean, we've kind of recapped it a little bit here. It's a he said, she said dispute of money. Helena Taylor, I think, also went on record. I don't know if she went on record with Jason Schreier saying I think it response via email or something like that. She had asked, or was this from sources at Platinum, saying that she had asked for
100K,
100,000 plus royalties, which royalties has been a thing I think that the union has started to work on for video game voice actors, but is not been an industry standard. And I don't know if even many actors get that, even with the like top Troy Baker for Nathan Drake or
Nolan North,
another
big one.
Yeah. So I mean, Nolan North I think is Nathan Drake, isn't he? I don't.
Yeah, Troy Baker is the brother.
That's right. But so that being said, I know we've had kind of back and forth conversations via Twitter and private Twitter groups and Discord and all that kind of stuff. But like, what's your guys' take on all of this?
I'll go first. Because I feel like I can't really speak on, the behind the scenes of, how all of this works. I mean, Johnny said it earlier. He doesn't really know how game development works. And I think it's hard to talk about a topic when you don't really know like the ins and outs. I would say that hopefully we all have kind of learned a lesson, because when she posted those videos, everybody took her side and was saying boycott Bayonetta without even having the other side of that information. And I mean, that's just kind of how the internet works. Like people will just
pitchfork mob.
Exactly. They just read a headline and then they go with it without even reading the article. And hopefully we have learned our lesson with that. But I will say, like, it does create awareness around voice actors, which is a good thing. And even though it's completely different with like Chris Pratt voicing Mario, that shouldn't mean that like people that are doing voiceovers for video game characters shouldn't be paid. I mean, like, they're not going to be paid the same amount as Chris Pratt, but it does show how underpaid they are compared to someone like a Chris Pratt. Who have like gone through training of voice acting. And who's to say if that's the case for Chris Pratt? I mean, I know that he's been in like the Lego movie and stuff like that. And this is kind of getting...
He just did his voice in the Lego movie. He's just...
It's true. Pratt, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, right? Like, we don't know if he has like any...
Yeah. I mean, I think that skill, the skill comes just in general of being an actor, of being able to read something, digest it pretty quickly, and be able to put proper inflection and other...
And breathing.
Yeah, breathing. And I mean, that was one of the biggest things when I started podcasting, is like I need to like take a breath, because you you get so nervous that you need to talk all the time. You don't think to breathe in, and that's something that you have to it's a learned kind of thing. But in all the things that I was reading this past week, a lot of voice actors don't know that they're even going in for a said movie of something, if they're kind of union kind of going in just to do a lot of I'm reading false stuff. But a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they don't know what role they're even going in for. They don't have the lines ahead of time, like with a movie actor or a larger probably role that you're getting ready for. You have a script in front of you. You're preparing ahead of time. You're embracing and becoming that character.
Sometimes, I mean, they'll give you a side, so you may not even know like the character that you're going in for, but they give you just a side of, read this. Let's see how you would act as this character, and then you may get a call and say, hey, you've been cast. And you don't even know what that's for.
And I think as of late, like it's important to establish, because I think a lot of people on the internet forget, like there are different tiers of even video game voice actors now, because there's certain games that are doing mocap, and there's certain utilizing the same actors for that. They're doing blocking, they're doing ostensibly acting in a barren mocap studio that doesn't have much props. A gun might be a stick with some balls on it that is just using it for reference in spatial awareness for the computer to see it. And they're jumping over tumbling pads or stuff like that for like just creating a ledge or something like that. So that is on a different echelon, kind of like a tier from going into a studio. Some of those people can even have their home studio set up, so they're going in, they're getting their lines, they're on a Zoom call with somebody, a producer somewhere else, and they're just reading they're doing it at home. And when you break that down, like, I know we haven't gotten to Johnny, and I know Johnny's probably going to dispute kind of what I'm saying, but like when you break down the numbers of what was offered for 16 to 20 hours worth of work, which is not even a full work week that I put in, that you put in, that Johnny puts in, that almost everybody else puts in for work. She was taking home potentially $15,000 to $20,000, which is for some people almost half or just under half what they make in a year. Like that, in the grand scheme of things, for a week of work, if you didn't have a lot to kind of prepare and get ready for that, you are paying for somebody. They have a skill set. They need to be compensated appropriately. I don't refute that. Like there is paying somebody for the knowing your value, and I think that's where this disparity is. I think the union and the talk of voice actors and what they're worth and all that is important conversation to have, and I think hopefully this can shine a light on it, and I hope it continues, and that can keep the ball rolling on in regards to that. But I think the story of $4,000 versus 15 to 20 is a big difference. I know Johnny has said earlier this week that she is Bayonetta, and I'll let him talk here in just a second, but like she gave life to Bayonetta, but I think there's a whole bunch of other people behind it that make Bayonetta, and the team there and what goes into that, I think, plays a role. But the one person, especially just a voice actor, that sounds bad. The actor that gives that person their heart and soul, I guess. There are creative ways to get around that, I guess, that if the company or the actor themselves want to move away from that, there's creative ways to have it be replicated, and Bayonetta can live on just because it's just one aspect of what that character is. but I'll let you go, Johnny.
That's why I get to go. So I made the mistake of quote tweeting a larger creator than I this week, and I think I misread what the article. I thought it was 100,000 in residuals and not 100,000 plus residuals, which 15 grand for 16 hours of work, that's a lot of money, but I don't think you could look at it based on time. Like, I think it's more value. Like she created that voice for Bayonetta. She read those lines and made that happen. And I think that, you talk about value, and I think value is the hardest thing to determine for any type of creative person, actor, content creator, because I can guarantee you that they are paying content creators thousands of dollars to promote that game. So why is their time more valuable than the voice actor that created the character? I could see if maybe she was some background character, not the main character, but paying somebody 10,000-15,000 where the game's probably going to make 50-60 million dollars. It doesn't sit well with me, because I know Kamiya is going to take home he's going to take home $1 million based on this game. Because I looked up his net worth, because I wanted to see, because he's just a developer, right? I mean, he's the president of Platinum Games, but he is a developer. He's worth like $1.5 million. 100,000 or whatever the residuals would have been would not have destroyed the profit of that game. And I think it needs to be, people need to keep talking about the value that these voice actors put in, because I know it's 10-15 hours of work, but that game, a lot of people, like, the character of Bayonetta is iconic. That is the game. And I don't know, I haven't really paid attention to, I didn't realize it was a different voice actor. So maybe that
I didn't either going into
problem.
this until last week. I didn't know.
But that is also another problem. Like, if you have a character that is voiced by somebody originally, and then they are replaced in some fashion, like, it feels like they could lowball somebody else and not give the original actor what they're due. But
this is kind of a different situation, but like Peter Dinklage voiced your Ghost in Destiny, and people memed on it and made fun of it. And then in the take, I think one of the updates, Nolan North had recorded all the lines again, and Peter Dinklage essentially got erased from that game. Like, he was paid for it, obviously, and that was a notable name to go in there. Going back to knowing your worth and all that kind of stuff, like the Alana Pierce clip that I was watching on YouTube, I think it was the 12 Minutes director was talking that a big name, especially in his game 12 Minutes, like a big name that helps sell, quote unquote, sell the game, can the voice actor money can come out of the marketing budget.
Yeah.
And that is so it's not necessarily game development budget, but it's marketing budget, and that is then funneled into to help for promotional sake, which I think definitely helped 12 Minutes get its notoriety a little bit, with having 3 A-list celebrity voices in there to drive.
Wasn't that was probably funded by Microsoft too, wasn't it? Because it was on
Game Pass, so it's cloudy when games get back-end funding from Microsoft to cross the finish line, or if there's other deals that are struck to allow it to be in Game Pass on day one. Sometimes they help fund development, sometimes they just pay for an exclusive promotion for them to promote Game Pass. So it just depends.
Yeah, the other thing, I mean, I know this has nothing to do with like Jason Schreier, but like, I will 100% believe the individual that has more to lose than a corporation 100% of the time.
Yeah. Helena Taylor definitely had a lot to lose posting what she posted, because she's definitely making herself less hireable now.
Yeah, I don't understand the point. Why would she lie? Like, I don't understand what would the motivation be, because people aren't that dumb to piss off an old employer and show it to the world. Like, it's not.
The problem
is
that it became more about her and less about voice actors as a whole. Like,
and she's been quiet on Twitter since.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not really much you can say after that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
nobody's going to believe her.
Nintendo got roasted today when they posted something about different Bayonetta outfits. The first comment I clicked on was like, read the room.
Yeah. I mean, so like, I guess the other big thing to take away from this is if you should boycott Bayonetta, if you should boycott a game or any kind of medium or whatever. We kind of learned this a lot through our Twitter DMs. We had a huge conversation about it, and there's really like it really just comes down to your own values and morals and what you think is right. Like, if you feel like you need to boycott something, then do it, but you shouldn't berate others for not boycotting something because they just don't agree with your views or morals. Or, like, we talked to somebody who's really into Harry Potter and he doesn't agree with J.K. Rowling and her comments, but it's very important to him, and he says that Harry Potter is bigger to him than just J.K. Rowling. It's really tough. I like to live in a fantasy land where, like, if we could buy the game and support those that have been in a bad predicament, like if we bought the game, then they know that we did it for them, but that's just not how it works. They probably aren't going to get rewarded because we bought a game. They probably won't even see that money. So it really just kind of comes down to your own decision. And there's not really a right or wrong, because if you look at it, like, there's politics everywhere and it can get really bad. And like,
so this one's tricky. Tough. This one's tricky. I think, I will never support Harry Potter again because of her. And
yeah.
It's hard for me to even support like Activision. I mean, I played Overwatch, but it's hard for me to support them because of how horrible they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's hard to draw a line. Like this one, it's about underpaying your creators or your employees. And it like everywhere you turn, like game developers are underpaid, testers are underpaid, voice actors are underpaid. Like everybody in the world is underpaid except for the top
corporate
1%.
Greed is a massive problem.
So this one I can understand. Like, it's not very. I don't know if political is the right answer. It's just capitalism, honestly. So it's hard to combat that. I think there are other things that you can get behind and not support.
Yep. Servant commented and said the motivation is that most fans didn't know who voiced Bayonetta 2 weeks ago. And I mean, she got her name out there and now we know who she is, but I don't think that was done in the right way. And it's here and it's going to leave,
Yeah. Well, and there might be more. I don't know if there'll be more that comes out of it. I don't know if there'll be an official statement from Platinum or Nintendo. I don't know if there'll be any more sources that can come out and corroborate what Jason Schreier and other outlets have reported on. I don't know if Helena Taylor will come out and give a more another follow-up, because it seems to be that since Saturday it's been correspondence via email and nothing really concrete. Or
she said she wants to leave it behind her, which I mean, I doubt she ever expected this type of blowback. I just don't know. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
One of the memes I saw. I mean, there's a few memes that come out of this, but one was like the platinum interpreter that messed us up. What was it a language barrier thing? But obviously,
so I don't know. Did you watch her videos?
On Saturday, the one or two, like I saw it as it was getting retweeted by a lot of people. I watched the first one at least.
Apparently,
I think I saw the second one.
She had a translator write to Kamiya asking for her, what she wanted as her pay in Japanese. So maybe there was. I don't think. I don't think either side is telling 100% the truth. I mean, there's a lot of things, and we're never gonna know for sure. Those documents aren't coming out. So
convert the yen to USD correctly.
It's 5,000 yen. Oh, geez.
I mean, maybe there was a translation error, but I would think that would be
hopefully remedied. I mean, it wouldn't just be one said and done kind of deal.
But not only that, like this is the second time you've done this, right? So like there's already
third time.
Well, I mean, she was offering what she wanted for the third game.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if there could be room for error unless like the translator offered way too less or offered too much, I guess, and they were like, "Whoa, wait."
Or her counter offer or whatever. But it's also a misunderstanding, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's more to it than just blatantly calling her a liar immediately. And
I'm sure Schreier is diving more into like this. This was the story that rocked video games this week. I mean, I'm sure there's maybe some more to come out.
There is a creator. I don't know if I should put his name out there, but he made a video about about the boycott. Like when her videos came out, and then like the next video he made was just him calling her a liar, and just like
in response to the news article having come out.
Yeah.
But also made a video about how the sales have skyrocketed.
Yeah, no, it could be a PR stunt. Who knows?
I saw something that it was trending number 1 right now on video games on Amazon or something like that.
Yeah, this is going to be the best-selling Bayonetta. There's no doubt, and I think
it was going to be going in.
Yeah, no, I think.
I mean, before this, because just being on the Switch. I mean, Bayonetta 2 was on the Switch, having been ported from Wii U.
Sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, I mean, this will sell. Games that come out on the Switch are doing well right now.
Speaking of which, when do we get financials? Is that the end of the month?
Was it 9:30?
I would think. Hopefully by next week. I think we should have them. That can be our topic.
Well, you want to see those Splatoon sales?
I mean, I do, but also like,
is the best-selling game in Japan already?
So before we end, did we ever come up with a? I don't know if they're going to.
I'm waiting to see if I win to come up with the stakes.
Yet, because if next week is going to be financials, we could be pretty close to something, and Johnny could go back into a shell if.
I mean, so it came out that Splatoon 3 is the best-selling game in Japan in 2022. So, I mean, I don't know what else came out. That would.
I mean, they aren't buying PlayStations so much over there anymore. So
Pokemon, Arceus,
and then Violet and Scarlet.
Yeah, I'm sweating a little bit.
We can figure it out. I mean, I know that Josh said that we could like dye our hair red and blue, like the Fire Emblem Engage, but like Johnny doesn't go anywhere. I actually
I can't for my job. I literally can't for my job.
I don't think I would be able to either. But we'll figure something out because I mean it is coming up. We got to figure it out. We've been hyping it up for months.
Nobody's giving us ideas. Like that's the problem.
True.
We need people, somebody
So
else to give us ideas.
Tweet at NPowercast and Johnny Bo and Cheesy C64 and Nightcrawler724 and at N64Josh. And yeah, we'll
What the stakes
We
should
got
be.
an hour without Josh.
we did do an hour without Josh. People in chat were doubting that we were going to be able to like hold it down, but we did it. We made
Here
it.
we are.
How do we end this
So,
thing?
I remember which button I have to press here, so we'll do that. But those were our socials. Be sure to join if you're sticking around this long, you should definitely be in the Discord. If you're not, n64josh.com/discord. I think DJ and Josh are working on updating n64josh.com, I think, with some bios
we got
and
our,
podcast stuff and
our shirtless profile pictures are going to be up there soon.
for the calendar, right? That we're gonna shoot
for the calendar,
here a little bit. So be sure to check us out on all the places, and we'll catch you guys next week for another episode. Take it easy.